How do you stop cringing at your embarrassing past? You accept deep down that 1. It happened to you, can't change the past. 3. You move on, joke about it. Underrated advice. Having a sense of humor about it can help you stop thinking of these experiences in such a negative way. You could even try and bring them up or recite them to a friend when they come to mind. Then it becomes something that you own, rather than something you're desperately trying to hide. Just do what Trump does and create a new, exciting, embarrassing present. By making an unpredictable and exciting future to focus on. I talk about her in third person. To myself and otherwise. I don't really know her well anymore, but I loved her, but God was she stupid. When I was 14 I jacked off, and finished, in the electronics aisle at Target. Now when I think of this I cringe so hard, so I just go on my phone as a distraction from that. The department with the most cameras. Thank you for sharing, Lamau. When the cringy memories come up, let them come up. Remember them from start to finish, even if it's a bit painful to do so. Experience all the feelings they bring up, and work through those feelings. Write them down in a journal, maybe even confess them anonymously on Reddit. Grow and change in reaction to them, and then you can let go of the memories. Eventually you internalize that the past is in the past, and you're free. As long as you actually grow and move on to new, different embarrassing moments. Maybe it's because I just read Dune, but your comment in essence sounds very much like the litany against fear. Greater than I must not fear. Greater than fear is the mind killer. Greater than fear is the little death that brings total obliteration. Greater than I will face my fear. Greater than I will permit it to pass over me and through me. Greater than, and when it has gone past I will turn the inner eye to see its path. Greater than, where the fear has gone there will be nothing. Only I will remain. Which in of itself is good advice, I think. By trying to remember the old proverb that a man cannot step into the same river twice. The river will not be the same river, not will the man be the same man. Meaning that life keeps moving on and we need not be stuck in the past. The chaos of the present. Ha ha ha. Whenever you get an embarrassing memory, try and sing over it. Oh God, in 8th grade I accidentally farted in front of Karma 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 chameleon, you come and go, you come and go ooh. Realize how boring of a life you'll have if all you do is obsess over your past. Would you rather have a cringy life full of experiences or sit inside the whole time and do nothing? I just wanted to say I do this and I hate it, but it was helpful to me to read these. Thanks everyone. I try to force my brain to go down a humorous path to reteach my brain to associate embarrassing feelings with a funny comedic bit. I've heard some people suggest just think of the Seinfeld theme along with your issue and it'll automatically become humorous. I just did that, but with different stand-up routines that I've come to enjoy over the years. Working pretty well so far. The only thing for it is keep your mind busy with other things. Your cringe means you've grown. Must mean I've grown a lot, 'cause man, I cringe daily, and often so hard it's paralyzing. Don't anybody point out that typo. I started saying to myself so what? Whenever I would have a thought about when I was stupid. Who gives a shite, like no one else has ever done anything dumb is another one I would say. Defend yourself against your inner bully and eventually that cringe turns to something closer to indifference. I've learned to ignore the feeling and move on when I know it's coming. Everyone is too busy with their own shit to care about yours to remember all the things you've said or done. That's a very important point. How many of us spend time remembering other people's journeys into cringedom? I went to a friend's house for a very small B-day get-together and proceeded to get drunk and obnoxious. I talked to my friend, whose B-day it was about 7 to 8 years later, and apologized. She didn't even remember it. We obviously beat ourselves up more than others do. Just try your best to remember 2 things about those memories. 1, you're probably the only person on earth who actually remembers those moments of yours. Sure, there will be people who might remember 1 or 2 odd moments because they were right there when they happened, but overwhelmingly your inventory of cringe memories is out of stock in everyone else's minds. 2, if it seems cringe now, that means you've grown, and that's a good thing. Facebook memories of status updates I posted 13 years ago when I first got on that site in college are barely recognizable as me to myself now. I decided to face the cringe head on. I laid in bed with my eyes closed and no music on and let any horrifying memory wash over me and experienced it to the fullest. I started doing this almost daily, anytime a cringe moment popped up, and if I was able I'd take a few moments to explore it deep. Each time I did this, the memory was no longer cringe. Sometimes, it became a story I could laugh about. It took all the power away. For me, usually a handful of different things work. Remind myself that everyone's got stuff they're embarrassed about. Breathe deeply and try to focus on breathing. Yes, I went through the free trial of Headspace and then stopped. So it's not exactly expert level meditation, but the basic focus on breathing thing actually works to help clear your mind. Try and focus on something else, like, try and remember the lyrics to that song I heard yesterday, or go over the grocery list or whatever. Realize that everyone does embarrassing stuff and that I'm probably making a way bigger deal out of it than anyone else is. Realize and accept that no one else really has their shits all together, so life goes on. I don't have to be perfect, I just have to strive to be better than my previous self all the time. The only thing I've ever heard that made sense was, pretend it was happening to someone else, a friend you know. Would you be so hard on them if it was someone else? Because unless it happened in the last couple of days, it really was someone else. You're not the same person. Self-compassion is the key to mental health. Especially if it is followed by compassion toward others. Everyone does stupid stuff, so be your own friend about it, a good friend. Your comment should have more upvotes. I never felt shame, so how can I be embarrassed? I know I'm a weird nerd. Why fight it? Realize that the only people remember it is probably yourself. How often do you think about others' embarrassing moments? Next to none, right? That means nobody even remembers the cringy thing you do because they are all too busy thinking about themselves. Edit, to people who said that's not true for you, I believe you. Sometimes people can be petty, mean little assholes that hold on to that one thing you did and keep bringing it up. Could be your friends, could be your parents, could be your so. Instead of feeling sad and attacked, next time when they do it, calmly ask them why they bring it up so often. Don't do it in a confrontational way, almost treat it like you are their therapist and look at it as a third person. Ask them what's the motive of always reminding people their embarrassing past. If they say they just find it funny, reply with, well, I never find it funny. Don't ask them to stop, because that will only make them do it more often. You need to make them feel like they are the one who should be embarrassed by how petty and childlike they truly are. Hope this helps. That's really good advice. I literally cannot remember anything embarrassing except from things that I did. Edit, why is this comment blowing up? All I said was that this good advice, Lamau. Kyle, I remember when you went to school without pants, Lamau. Become a less embarrassing person. Eventually your memory starts to fail. It's nature's kindness. This has probably already been said, but drugs and alcohol. I do my best to block it all out. Try staying distracted 24/7. I recommend the opposite. Work through the memories, experience them fully, and internalize that they're in the past now. A lot of the perpetual cringe comes from the same few bad memories rising up against your will, getting pushed down, and coming right back up again. I can't even eat as much as this would make me vomit. Think of your 5 most embarrassing moments. Now think of your best friend's 5 most embarrassing moments. I bet that thinking of your own came really quickly, but thinking of your friends took a while, and for a colleague or acquaintance you might not be able to think of any, even though they will all be able to think of their own 5 embarrassing moments just as quickly as you thought of yours. Basically, these little things aren't a big deal even though your brain will try to trick you into thinking they are. My life got a lot less stressful when I realized that. I mean, I still lie awake in bed at night replaying awkward conversations to myself and thinking, why the fuck did I say that? But at least rationally I know it doesn't matter to anyone but me. I am 31 and I still cringe over shit I did in middle school. I know in my heart that nobody else remembers that shit, but I sure do. I'm in therapy because I still beat myself up over shit I did as a child in elementary school. I cannot let shit go.